Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me. It's Monday, December 15th. We start off with an update on Corpus Christi water supplies. They remain critically low as a combination of Lake Corpus Christi, Choke Canyon, and Lake Tejano are at 18.8% capacity. Today, Choke Canyon Reservoir is reported to be 9.8% full after recently hitting single digits just a few weeks ago. Corpus Christi City Council will meet for the final time this year at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow at Council Chambers at 1201 Leopard Street. This week's agenda will include updates on city operations, including restaurant licensing and inspection fees, an update from the Corpus Christi Hooks, as well as South Texas Water Authority 7 Seas Water Project, the Farfield Advisory Committee, and the Water Conservation Advisory Committee. Tuesday's meeting will also see a motion to award a $4.8 million construction contract to South Texas Building Partners for the new Corpus Christi Detention Center in Council District 1. Funding will be available from prior City Council approved certificates of obligation and 2026 Public Facilities CO funds. Also on the agenda is a resolution authorizing interlocal agreement with Lavaca Navidad River Authority for design and construction of the LNRA facility expansion for a spare pumping unit at Lake Texana. It would provide for the city to pay all costs associated with the expansion project and approved LNRA's contract with Freese and Nichols Inc. for $692,000 for design, bidding, and construction oversight services. It would be payable from the Raw Water Capital Fund. They will also discuss a resolution relating to establishing the city's intention to reimburse itself for prior lawful expenditure of funds relating to any capital expenditures from proceeds of one or more series of tax-exempt or taxable obligations. The reimbursement to be issued by the city would not exceed $29 million for authorized purposes, including the Evangeline Groundwater Rights Project and the Reclaimed Water for Industrial Reuse Project. They will also discuss an ordinance to designate Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone 7, including the boundaries of the zone, as well as creating a board of directors and subzones and an effective date provided that the zone take effect immediately upon passage of the ordinance. Full meeting agenda, live stream, and replay, as well as public comment session signups are available online at corpuschristitx.gov. Victoria City Council will meet at 5 p.m. tomorrow at the city's council chambers at 107 West Juan Lynn Street. Meetings will be live streamed online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube at Victoria Texas Videos. Action items on this week's agenda include approving a construction contract with Rain King Inc. to replace the roof of the Victoria Public Library building. The project will cost about $798,000. They will also discuss setting public hearings on a proposed stormwater drainage utility and drainage utility fee. According to the item memo, the first public hearing is recommended to be set for February 3rd and the second 2 weeks later on February 17th. City manager reports we'll have an update from the 2025 Tejas Fest as well as considerations for the 2026 festival. Full meeting agenda is available online at victoriatx.gov. The father of Tejano legend Selena Quintanilla passed away over the weekend. Texas Public Radio's Jerry Clayton has more.
Quintanilla's son, A.B., announced his death on social media Saturday. Quintanilla had his own career when he was much younger in a band called Los Dinos. The success of Selena y Los Dinos, a band that included A.B. and another daughter, Suzette, can largely be attributed to their father, who was a tireless spokesperson and managed the group. The family's climb to success and renown was depicted in the 1995 film Selena, and more recently, Quintanilla was featured in the Netflix documentary series Selena y Los Dinos, A Family Legacy. His role as spokesperson and advocate continued after Selena was murdered in 1995. Abraham Quintanilla was 86 years old. The family has not yet shared his cause of death. I'm Jerry Clayton in San Antonio.
South Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar has regained his position on a U.S. House budget panel. Texas Public Radio's Marian Navarro has the details.
Cuellar stepped down as chair of the House Appropriations Committee to comply with rules that bar members from holding leadership roles while under indictment. Cuellar had been indicted for bribery and corruption charges. He was pardoned last week by President Trump. The Texas Tribune reports 17 of 27 of the Democratic members on the committee voted on Thursday to return him to the position. Cuellar is again the top Democratic member on the panel, which oversees funding for the Department of Homeland Security. I'm Maria Navarro in San Antonio.
A new poll of likely voters in Texas's Democratic Senate primary shows Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett leading State Representative James Tallarico by 8 points. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says the poll shows both candidates bringing separate strengths to the general election contest.
The Texas Southern University poll shows 51% of likely voters supporting Crockett to 43% supporting Tallarico, with the rest undecided. Mark Jones of Rice University's Baker Institute co-authored the study.
Crockett potentially brings to the table mobilizing Democratic-leaning voters who normally don't participate, whereas Tallarico brings to the table the ability to win over crossover voters who traditionally vote for Republican and more likely than not will vote for Greg Abbott, but potentially could vote for him, especially if the Republican nominee is Ken Paxton.
The poll finds Crockett with an overwhelming advantage among black voters, with Tallarico holding an edge among white and Latino men. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
And in sports, the Corpus Christi Ice Rays split their weekend series with the Amarillo Wranglers. They lost 3-2 on Friday, then won on Saturday 4-1. Ice Rays remain in 7th place in the NAHL South Division standings. High school football playoffs came to an end in South Texas as Refugio lost a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter to Joaquin, and ultimately 37-28 in Friday's Class 2A Division I semifinal game in Cyprus. Sinton is also out of the playoffs after a 28-3 loss to West Orange Stark in the 4A Division II state semifinals in Katy. The Pirates ended their season with their first trip to the state semifinals in over a decade. In college basketball, Texas A&M Corpus Christi men's team dominated Dallas Christian 108-55 on Friday at the Dugan Wellness Center. Their next game will be a Southland Conference matchup this Wednesday at Stephen F. Austin. Meanwhile, TAMUCC women's team will open its Southland Conference schedule this week. They travel to Beaumont tonight to take on Lamar, then to Nacogdoches on Wednesday against Stephen F. Austin. UTRGV women's basketball begins a 3-game road stretch tonight with a Southland Conference contest at Stephen F. Austin. UTRGV men's will face Lamar tomorrow in SLC play. And Texas A&M Kingsville women's basketball are in San Antonio today for an exhibition game against the Roadrunners. Texas A&M Kingsville men's basketball will play host this week, first to University of Missouri St. Louis tomorrow afternoon, then to Rogers State University on Wednesday. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.